Sara Jones, unfortunately, she lost her life quite a few years back now, 2014 now. And I remember working on set during the time after this happened. A lot of people would have on their camera equipment because she was a camera. She's part of the camera department. And they were put on their, on their slates, everything else. Remember Sara Jones. Now, if you don't remember what happened here, on February 20th of 2014, pretty much just like, it's almost a reunion at that time, she was struck by a train and she lost her life while they were shooting Midnight Rider. Now, this is one of those things that they were shooting illegally, and they were on the train tracks, and they didn't have anybody locking it down, nothing. A train starts coming. She ran back to grab the camera, and she got hit by a train and lost her life. And this is why we have to have safety on set. It's a big, big thing, and unfortunately, this young woman lost her life in it.
It's absolutely horrible.
It's horrible. It's horrible, Angela.
I think of a worse way to die than like getting hit by
hit by a train.
Maybe I could think of a worse way, but I mean, that's one of the worst.
You see it coming. It's like, ugh.
Yeah, like, oh, yeah. Like, you know what I mean? What do you do? You have no time. Really.
Nothing. No. Well, the sad thing too, Angela, is like she was in safety and they told her to go back and get the camera.
Oh, they told her she didn't do it on her own?
Yeah, she went. They were like, you got to get the camera. She went back, got the camera, and then she got hit by the train. No, they had a bed in the tracks. They had a bed in the tracks too. They were shooting like a dream sequence on the tracks. It was ridiculous. It was not safe. It was not safe.
Really bad.
But one thing that Netflix is doing right now, which is actually like pretty notable and pretty amazing, is they're putting a scholarship forward right now. They're calling it the it's a fund. They're calling it the Creative Equity Fund for Netflix. Now, this is actually going to be helping train people into getting into the film industry, and it's an annual internship that's going to be with this fund. It's going to be funded by this fund, and this internship is going to be about job training program dedicated to the memory of this late camera assistant, Sara Jones. This opportunity consists of a 12-week program. This internship, it's going to be paid, right? And you have camera training program for Commander Camera in Atlanta. So it's all going down in Atlanta. And the participants will learn all the aspects of digital cinematography. They'll participate in opportunities to visit on set and observe camera crews at work and begin building their network of industry, of course, contacts they're going to find on set. And after successfully finishing that training, they're going to participate in a 1-week paid internship on top of that at Cinelise Lighting and Grip at Cinelise Studios in order to learn about that aspect of film too. And then after all of that's said and done, they're going to work for 30 days as an ICG crew member in the Atlanta-based Netflix production. And they'll get to actually work on set for 30 days, and they'll get offered membership into their local ICG 600 so they can actually freelance and get to work and start actually getting part of the industry. I think that's an amazing thing. I think it's an amazing thing, right? People,
yeah, that is.
Yeah.
They are going to line up for that. That's an amazing opportunity.
This doesn't happen like this, Ron. It's hard to get into the union like this. And I think that to give like something like this after what happened to this woman, I think this is fantastic. Netflix is giving back and doing this,
it's
right?
It's a great tribute. It's a great tribute. Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard to get into these unions. I'm super excited for anybody that can get involved with this. But again, we have to look at like someone lost their life over all this. And I'm happy this is something to remember her by and something to learn from this. And I hope that a lot of people can get their big break through the situation, but it'll never actually bring back what we lost. And that was somebody's life and their career and their opportunities.
I'm a Nepo baby, so it didn't have, that's what happened to me.
Yeah, well, that's amazing when that happens too, because a lot of times, Ron, I would say this too, the people that work in the industry that are Nepo babies or are second, third generation, I should say, of Grips, Electric, any kind of department. Mm-hmm. A lot of those have I would say definitely the crew jobs. They've learned that craft so well, and that's like those are the best trained people that actually do that job. That's why more jobs to come back here. That's what I always more
absolutely, absolutely.
And I hope that happens. I
did a show at Warner Brothers, and I remember them coming up to me. They said, "You can't hire family on your crew." I'm like, "Can't hire family on my crew?" I'm like, "Hold on a second. What's the name of the studio?" And she said, "It's Warner Brothers." I'm like, "Right, it's brothers." So all of my cousins that I hired have different last names, anyways. It's from marriage, so everybody was fine.
Brother, you didn't hear that, Ron, because it never happened.
Never happened.
But I do have to say, though, I'm happy this is going down. And I hope that a lot of people get opportunities and this keeps going. Unlike Kraven, we need no more Kraven, guys. We need no more Kraven. Let's be done with this. But Kraven's coming to Netflix. So if you haven't had a chance to watch Kraven, I'm not going to say why. I'm not going to trash the movie too much. But on March 13th, 2025, you can officially watch Kraven on Netflix if you haven't seen it yet. Or maybe
boy.
GR's will be checking it out. He wouldn't go to the theaters to see it. So maybe he'll watch it at home. GR? No, right?
No.
I was like, no.
No.
I gotta say, Ron, no. Angela, everybody's like, no, we don't want this. We don't want this. He-Man.
I mean, if you're feeling frisky.
You're feeling frisky for some Aaron Taylor
Whoa,
Johnson.
look at
If somebody was feeling frisky, they could.
They get just
This might, like satisfy some of those feelings.
and people might be feeling frisky too about this new He-Man image, guys, because the first Masters of the Universe image is out. I know Jordan was super excited, but all you see is his chest. All you see. So this is what we got. We got his chest. We got the sword. What?
That's a chest? Oh, I couldn't even see with that big eyes.
Yeah, it's just his chest. That's just his chest. But the first official Masters of the Universe image is out there. Nicholas Galazine. I'll probably butcher his name until the end of time. He has the power, and this is his first image. He's been bulking up quite a bit. He was kind of a little scrawny guy, and good for him though. You got to become He-Man. You got to do it right, and he is apparently trying to make it happen. So, highly do not recommend Kraven. That's what Queen says. I want to see how He-Man's going to do. I'm excited about He-Man. I'm also just seeing
good taste, Queen.
Movie. Yeah. It was okay. It wasn't the best. But I want to see about Pattinson coming back for Batman and the whole Penguin thing, because Pattinson is not, guys, going to officially be the DCU's Batman. James Gunn came forward because GR wanted to know, so James Gunn spoke for GR out there and said, no, we are not going to get Pattinson as our DCU Batman. He might pop up, the Batman of the DCU official timeline might pop up at some place, and they'd love to bring more jobs back to LA, but they said it depends on the tax incentives as well. So James Gunn's not going to guarantee we're coming back with more jobs unless LA gives them better tax incentives. I give it one of these. I give it a womp womp, guys, because if you build it, they will come. And so please just start bringing stuff back, bring jobs back. But apparently if the money's not there, they're not going to do it. And also the Penguin did fantastic, of course, in the Pattinson world. And Colin Farrell came forward and said, I don't want it. I don't not want it. And he said, so it's like 8 hours of prosthetics. It was a lot to get into it. He goes, just because it had a quote unquote success and people are asking for us to go again, I don't want to dilute the version of what people seem to feel that it is. And I feel like the majority wants it, but I'm in no rush. I have no deep desire to do it. Sure, I think that there's something that works in conjunction and is parallel. I will do it, but it has to work in the Matt Reeves cinematic universe and it has to be good. And he's open to it, but I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon, guys. And if it doesn't happen, I think there will be chaos on the streets, and chaos was canceled, guys. We talked about this Jeff Goldblum as God being canceled, but we didn't talk about the numbers. Apparently, it was the highest rated and watched Netflix show that was canceled last year. What? I mean, what were we doing? 20.3 million views.
Did you?
Chaos was so. I watched the whole thing. It was so good, Angela. Jeff Goldblum, Zeus. And it's like modern day, but the Greek gods are still ruling over him. And Zeus is like losing his mind. He thinks he's about to be killed or he's going to lose his powers. And he's trying to figure out how to actually save himself. And there's like all this crazy stuff that goes beyond that. Jeff Goldblum was fantastic as Zeus. It was like 8 episodes on Netflix. It was fun. It was really fun. And they kind of modernized it. Like one of the Greek gods was like a musician. Another one, they're living amongst us. We respect them. We honor them, but our lives are still moving on. Modern day. It was fascinating. But again, it had great numbers, but Netflix said that the budget compared to the numbers wasn't good enough for them to keep it going. Even though it was the top show at the time, they said it wasn't a big enough numbers to warrant doing more seasons. So
yeah,
that's why, Angel, because it said because the numbers weren't big enough. It was a top show, but it wasn't big enough to balance the budget. It must have been a pretty big budget. They would not release the numbers for that. So it's unfortunate because I think it would have been. It was a big cast.
I'm wondering if a lot of the money went to salaries.
I think like honestly, Jeff Goldblum, Helena was a big character too. I can't think of her name. She was a big talent in there too. But those two were kind of the top ones, and then beyond that, Janet McTeer. Yeah, she was Helena. Also, if you look down the beyond that, though, I would say you don't really have like a lot of big people. David Thewlis, I think that's how you say his name. He's pretty big, but not like he played Hades. But beyond that, a lot of the cast I haven't really heard of. So I was kind of shocked by it too. I mean, honestly, there wasn't a lot of green screen. There was a lot of practical stuff for this too, practical locations, like big mansion for Zeus's castle, and beyond that, we had to go to the underworld. But that was all kind of practical too. So I don't understand why it was such a big budget. No, it was a great show. It was a really fun show. So I wish we get to see more. And you'll get to see more of everybody this Sunday at the Oscars. And you'll get to see apparently Carla Gascon, Sophie Gascon are going to the Oscars. Guys, she's going to the Oscars. Even though she said she wasn't going to go, Netflix is going to pay all of her expenses, and she's going to attend at the Dolby Theater this Sunday because she is nominated for Best Actor. So, or Best Actress, I should say. And honestly, I would say this. It's like, that's good she's going, I think, but also, like, you know, there's been so much controversy, and Netflix has got to push her aside. I don't know why she want to go, but she's going to go, and we'll see what happens beyond that. I think people won't even talk about it. I think it'll just be what it is. She's there. They probably won't even showcase her that much, as they've already pushed her off all the billboards since all of her tweets have come out. But they are coming down at the 97th Academy Awards, hosted by Conan O'Brien. Can't wait for that, guys. This Sunday at 4 p.m., Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Hulu Live, which sucks. I want to watch it. You know, we had the SAG Awards.
And ABC.
On ABC, you can get Sling, Fubo, DirecTV stream. You can watch it this Sunday. And we're going to have our Oscar after show on Monday to talk all about it. She was supposed to be a Secret Agent Man. She's the first transgender actress to be nominated for an Academy Award. And it was a big deal. Netflix was pushing for it, but then all the tweets came out, and then that went down where she lost. Pretty much everyone pushed her away. So we'll see what happens beyond that. But somebody else getting pushed away a little bit is Blake Lively, guys. Oh, Blake Lively. Let's keep talking about her, right? So a new order has been issued by a judge subpoenaing the actress because, you know, she's been trying to subpoena all of Baldoni's text messages from his whole phone record, saying, I want all the text messages, all the receipts, everything, right? I want them all. And a judge came forward and said, no, you're not getting all of his text messages. You're trying to like get things that you don't deserve records to. So you need to narrow these down. That came down. And also saying, she's coming forward saying that people are trying to weaponize against her. All the content creators are trying to weaponize against her because of Baldoni stuff he's putting out there. And so Blake Lively is trying to go after content creators too online, saying that they shouldn't be talking shit about her. And that Baldoni's influence making this toxic environment to go after her, and that they're going to start trying to target people that are talking bad about her online, which is bad. That's unfortunate. Like, honestly, I love, you know, it was coming out Ryan Reynolds too. People are talking shit about Ryan Reynolds, and people are distancing him too. Because a producer, I know, there was a producer that said they were in the room when Ryan Reynolds started like going off at Baldoni, and he said he's never seen it his whole career. Like, him go off at him like this and yell at him, belittle this man in this meeting. So there's a lot of this stuff leaking out, and they're trying to smash it, trying to get this away, trying to squash it. This keeps heating up more and more and more. Everyone says he has this good guy mentality, but maybe he's not that way. And here's something that Ron and I talked about today, which we'll talk more about as well. So this lawsuit's for $400 million, right, against Lively and, of course, you know, Ryan Reynolds. Lively's gross I should say profit, or gross profit,
net worth
is $50 million. Ryan Reynolds is $350 million. So Baldoni, all their that's 400. They're taking all of their money. That's what he's trying to do because of this lawsuit. So we'll see how that shakes out, guys. Ooh, just put them over, have them fight in the street. And Street Fighter's coming pretty soon, so maybe they can be involved with that. Because Street Fighter found its director, guys. The upcoming live action version of Street Fighter. The last one happened with Jean-Claude Van Damme. Now we're getting a new version from a new director. And of course, Legendary Entertainment and Capcom are making this. We originally used to have Danny and Michael Philippou, who are amazing talent. If you ever see Talk to Me, guys, what a great A24 movie. It was fantastic. Had that hand. They were supposed to direct this before. Not anymore. They'd stepped down, and Kato Sakuragi, I probably butchered his name too, he's taking over. And Kato did a couple different things. I never really heard of Kato before. The Eric Andre show. I've never heard of that before, but you know, he's done some little things. He worked on Peacock's Twisted Metal as well, directing as well. So hopefully it's good, guys. I want to see it. I want it to be good, but bring Jean-Claude back. Let's make it happen. And speaking about coming back, Dexter's coming back, guys. Of course, Dexter Resurrection and our newest cast profile coming forward. We have amazing talent coming in, guys. I mean, Ritter, guys. I love Ritter. I think she's been fantastic for a long time. I loved her over there on Daredevil. She was great in Daredevil, Kristen Ritter. But now she's officially signed on for Dexter Resurrection. And her character is a renowned sommelier who is hiding a secret serial killer secret. That's what it is. And she's going to be a kind of recurring, but like she's not going to be full time, but pretty much a pretty big part they're saying for this new season. Not saying much more than that. She had announced that she was going to be shooting back in New York. Everyone was like, "Oh, it must be Daredevil," because they're about to start shooting season 2 of Daredevil, and they're expecting her to be coming back as Jessica Jones. But no, she's coming in to be again on Dexter. So hopefully it's going to be great. I love Dexter. Can't wait for it. The character is called Mia Lapierre. And hopefully it's fantastic. With the good, though, always comes the bad. It's been a sad week for Hollywood, I will say. We've had a couple of big deaths. The one I want to talk about first is Michelle Trachtenberg. Now, we've been talking about Buffy a lot. And, of course, Michelle played the sister on Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And honestly, she was fantastic. And I've loved her whole career. She's gone through a lot of turmoil in her career. Think about all the Joss Whedon stuff, guys. All the Joss Whedon stuff was horrible. With him having to be separated from her on set because he was being creepy to her, that's unfortunate. And with her having to be like protected as a child is unfortunate too on a series. That's not right. It sucks that at 39 years old, she lost her life. It's really unfortunate. And they usually do an autopsy after the fact, but her family stepped in and said, no, they don't want that based off their religious views. And so there's not going to be an autopsy. Probably never any official cause of death that comes forward for this, but she did just have a liver transplant. And this came out from ABC News that she had a liver transplant just recently, like last week, and that might have been why she actually lost her life. Maybe it was her body wasn't taking to it. We will probably never know. Now, people were saying she was looking very thin, very ill in the past few weeks when they'd see her out and about. She was out 6 weeks ago. Here's a picture of her from there. You can see she looks a little bit skinnier. Yeah. So maybe that could be from having to have surgery though too.
She doesn't even look the same. You can't even tell the same. It's just completely a different, yeah.
Yeah. And that could be from what she's going through, the liver disease. Or
if you're needing an organ transplant, I mean, you're not going to look, not everyone's going to be looking healthy, right?
No, not at all. And then you see that, though, and it sucks because at 39 years old, you would think you'd have a lot of life to live. Her mother found her, which is really sad, too. I can't even imagine.
Horrible.
You're coming in and be like, find your 39-year-old
could you imagine
daughter?
finding your child on absolutely not. It's just, horrible.
Hell no. No parent should ever have to bury their kid.
No. And I think it was Secret Agent Man said, yes, Joss Whedon was the creative backbone of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And I don't think he's going to be involved with the remake because, again, of all the shit he was pulling back in the day. That's why Disney let him go, too. He did Avengers 1 and 2, and then this all came out, and he was gone. He was gone. And I think that's necessary. She was 12, 13 years old, something like that during Buffy. That's just not right. It's not right.
No.
Protect your children, But this just sucks. We lost her. It just sucks. And she went through a lot of turmoil, I imagine, in her career that she had, which was still a grand career for a lot of actors. She was big shows. And, it sucks we lost her so soon. Also, it's you hear about this and you hear about Gene Hackman too. And I love Gene Hackman. He's still my Lex Luthor, guys. Always. I know. I loved him so much. Such a phenomenal talent. Welcome to Mooseport, I think was his last movie. And he stepped away because he said that he went to the doctor's office and they said that his heart wasn't doing well. And his doctor told him any more stress you're impacting on your body could cause you to have a heart attack. And so he said, okay, I'm retiring from acting. And he just stopped because he said it was too much. Here's a picture of him, just not too long ago. He lost a lot of weight too at 95 years old. To me, barely recognizable. I would have saw him. I would have known that was Gene Hackman.
Oh my gosh. That was him?
That was him.
Holy, I would never. Okay. Yeah.
You never know.
You see the nose and that's about it.
Yeah, you're right, GR. Wow. His nose. But he stepped away. He was 95 years old, unfortunately, him and his wife, when they passed this week. And and okay, so they did a big search. What happened is too, like, so there was a wellness check that happened at the house. Hadn't heard from him a while. The neighbors came over to look for him, and that's where they found him. It came out today that Gene Hackman had been dead for about 10 days before they found him. Apparently his pacemaker, GR was somebody whose pacemaker had stopped, and that's how they could tell. And the scene was really weird. So the front door of the residence was unsecured and it was opened. And this is why the deputies are looking into this more. They observed a healthy dog running loose in the property. Another healthy dog was near the deceased female, of course, his wife. There was a deceased dog 10 to 15 feet from his wife as too in the closet of the bathroom. That's kind of weird. The water heater had been shuffled and moved. There was a pill bottle that had been opened and pills were scattered amongst the floor next to her as well. And Hackman was located in a separate room of the residence with no obvious signs of a gas leak, they were saying at all, which is the first thing they went to. Like maybe it's a gas leak. No obvious signs, but people are still saying by the time they're talking about like 10 days probably being passed away, that gas could have dissipated through the house maybe. So maybe that could still be some, but they are looking at this. They're not saying foul play yet, but they are getting into this to investigate further. Now, I mean, the two men that have found them, they said the bodies were already decomposed by the time they had found them too, because again, it's been 10 days, guys. No indications of invasion, nothing like that. It's just a sad day because Gene Hackman was a massive talent. I love Gene Hackman like a lot of us do. And I think that it was sad when he stepped away. He did it very, very nice, and he just did it very silently. He dipped out very honorably, I would say, in a lot of ways. And I really hope that he enjoyed the rest of his life. And it's a sad day for all of us. It is, but a lot of breaking news, everybody.
Yo, player, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when we are live. And if you are able to join our Patreon, please join. Because the Pepestar needs more snickety snacks. Because I'm hungry. Holla back. Love y'all.